Hello Internet friends, and welcome to the Legion Beta Alpha testing of the Marksmanship Hunter summary. After about 2.5 hours of testing and looking at everything, it's a weird, shorter testing stream because this class is very straightforward. It feels okay. But the new Marksman Hunter, which is kind of like an amalgamation of the old gone currently on Warlords plus the Survival Hunter, as we used to know it, is fine. I'm confused by some talent choices, which I'll get into a little bit more in the future, of course. If you missed the entire testing, please refer to the VOD linked in the description, as well as the links on my channel guide on my TwitchTV page. Additionally, the whole bug report and my thoughts and findings and musings of things are also listed in the channel, or in the video description guide as well. It's also on the channel guide, of course. It's all listed all in that together. So, I'm on this cliff here in the Vale to show you Bursting Shot, because it's listed as a key ability here for Marksman, and it doesn't do a whole lot. It's like a little micro knockback. This video might be a little bit rambly or not as put together because this spec is kind of awkward. I'm also going to show you what headshot looks like, which I have currently talented here because it sort of has like a pass-through component where it AoEs in a line. Let me get some things lined up here. Of course, it'll one-shot all of them, but here is the best chance to do this right now. Right here, maybe? Yeah, see? So the AoE is in a line, but I'll do Bursting Shot again. Doesn't really knock them back that far. It's kind of weak. It's kind of weak and terrible. I don't know. This spec has a lot of interesting, like, is that supposed to be? It's fine. Like, it does tons of damage, it looks like. It has a lot of damage multiplying stuff, which I'll start going into now. So your passives for the Marksman Hunter now is Lone Wolf. You don't have a pet ever anymore. There's no pet for you ever again. You can get pets through Dark Ranger, which I'll show off in the background here as I auto-attack stuff and show you off some animations. But Lone Wolf is always here. It says that your auto shot, arcane shot, and aim shot damage is increased by 30%. I thought it was kind of confusing, personally, due to the fact that you don't have a pet anyway. Why do you need to amp up aim shot and arcane shot's damage when no other hunter has those abilities? I don't know why. Maybe auto shot, maybe because you don't have a pet out to help you out with damage, but I'm not sure. Improve focus, you get 20 extra focus maximum. Bombardment, so your critical strike with multi-shot cause subsequent multi-shots to cost 25 less focus and cause 6% additional damage for 5 seconds. So it basically just synergizes well with, as you AoE with bombardment here with AoE, you can keep getting off more multi-shots, which is, might see Hunter's Marks popping up around here, which I'll go into that in a little bit. And Seek vulnerabilities. Targets hit by Arcane Shot and Multi-Shot have a chance to be marked with Hunter's Mark. Okay. Hunter's Mark is back. It's a passive. Azortharian told me it's like a 30% chance. That doesn't tell you how much of the chance this is. It's in my bug report that why doesn't tell you what the chance is for the abilities you're using. You'll notice that Arcane Shot now is like your filler. It's an instant 40-yard range. It should be more than that. Your mastery now is going to be that your critical strike damage is increased and your range of all shots is increased by a flat percentage. It's sniper training. You don't have to stand still anymore for it. Just gives you more critical strike damage and longer range on your shots. So some of the shots right now are bugged. They're not actually gaining the extra range, which is really not a big deal to look at right now. They'll fix it eventually. But Arcane Shot is your filler. Generates focus. It just spam that baby. Aim shot now, your powerful aim shot that is the only ability you have as a Marksman Hunter that requires you to stand still. Everything else can be cast while moving. Everything else, just cast it, go for it, jump it around, do things, cast those crows, get in there, do the stuff, but you have to turret for aim shot. Aspect of the Cheetah is here, a little retooled. There's no aspect of the pack anymore, but you get 90 seconds or 90% for 6 seconds and 30% for 12. I currently have Dash as my talent, so it gives you 3 more seconds on both the 90 and the 30. So just more sprint. It's really fast. I mean, it's 10% away from mount speed for 6 seconds. And then 30% for 12. It's a lot of movement. It's a lot of movement. It's fine. Aspect of the Turtle replaces Deterrence as a 3-minute cooldown here. I'm going to wait till this cools back down to show you that you can cheetah with Turtle active. You don't have, like, one aspect of the time thing. But Aspect of the Turtle is deflects all attacks, and you take 30% less damage from all damage for 8 seconds. So AoE damage you can reduce, but direct or targeted attacks you can deflect. You cannot attack during the Turtle Shell, though. No attacking. No attacking. Nope, can't do it. Camouflage is just a talent with Wyvern Sting and Binding Shot. Binding Shot's still here, basically the same thing. Wyvern Sting, same thing, no damage component. Camouflage is here. It works properly with Marksman. It doesn't work very well with Survival right now because the initial damage on the first attack coming out of it is kind of wonky. And but it's still camouflage. It's still doing things. Can't do it while in combat, of course, as I am in combat now and can't do it. But I can feign death. Get up. When my dots get me out of combat, the damn stupid beast, then you can camouflage. And the heal works now too. You get that 2% every second, is it? 2% every second for the whole minute that you're in camouflage. But again, you can't do it in combat. So you can feign death, get out of combat, and then use it. But, you know, Concussive Shot is still here. Doesn't do any damage. Doesn't have an animation either. It's just pew, little like white trailed shot. Counter Shot is still here for your interrupt. Disengage is still here, of course, for your movement. And Eagle Eye still here as well. Just different version of Hunter Farsight, basically. Exhilaration, your built-in healing potion or health zone, I guess. 50% of your max health on a 2-minute cooldown. Pretty powerful. Feign Death, of course, like I said, still here. Flare is still here doing flare things. By default, Flare is a 20-second cooldown. Keep that in mind for a talent I'll bring up later. And then Marked Shot is your other main ability. So Marked Shot fires a shot up to 3 targets affected by Hunter's Mark, which we can show off here real quick, the first part of this. So let me get some Hunter's Marks out there, and then boom, boom, boom. Kind of cool, right? Has a synergistic relationship with that AoE component. You know what I'm saying, but it doesn't do a ton of damage. It's mostly for the vulnerability stack right now, with vulnerability, right? Which is a slow plus the damage amp on aim shot, again, from Seek vulnerability. And which then ties into, let me put the debuff up again so you can see it on the mob here. Yeah. So vulnerable to aim shot, and then there's a little slow involved. Which, going back over here to Mark Shot, it deals physical damage and usable while moving. It exposes vulnerabilities in the target, snaring them by 15% and increasing aim shot damage done on the target by 25% for 10 seconds, stacks 3 times. So right off the bat, this is your main sort of maintenance buff here. You want to stack that up to 3, and you want to keep that stacked up to 3 all the time. If you refresh it at 3 stacks, it stays at 3 stacks. So there it goes, 3 stacks again. So you want to weave your aim shots in there. You want to basically, what I sort of figured out is, are you following up every aim shot with a arcane shot and every mark shot with an aim shot, just to make sure you're always keeping the mark on the target so you can refresh your marked for vulnerability there. It's pretty straightforward. The basic rotation is 3 buttons. Exactly. Keep up marked, spam arcane, weave in aim shots when you have the focus. Obviously, talents will change things, like adding in a headshot here. Bet damage. Headshot, again, scales with 20 to 100 focus as well. The damage scaling isn't, like, really apparent right now. It's kind of wonky, but it does do that. And, of course, multi-shot's still a thing. But True Shot is your only cooldown. It's just 40% haste increase, and the chance for targets to be marked by 100% for 15 seconds. Now, what's weird is I don't think it's a guaranteed chance to be marked. Again, like, marking a target isn't a guaranteed thing. It took me 2 shots there to get a mark, right? So now if I hit True Shot, okay, and mark the target. Mark the target. Mark the target. Mark the target. Alright. But for some weird reason, it doesn't always work when I was testing it earlier today. It could be a 100% chance. Or it could be increasing the chance to mark the target by 100%. I don't know, because Seek Vulnerability doesn't say what the chance to mark targets are. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out if they give you that stat in the future. But to go a little bit more into talents now, So true aim, which you see on the target right now, is that for every successive arcane marked or aimed shot used on the target of the same attack, those shots will deal 2% more damage on the target, stacking up to 20 times. So it only affects one target at a time, and it only affects arcane, marked, or aimed shot. So no synergy with headshot, of course. Headshot already hits for hard enough anyway. But this is basically 40% damage that only works on arcane, aimed, and marked. So it's just a patchwork style. The more you hit the same target, the more damage they take kind of deal. Which again, you're not only going to be balancing if you take this talent vulnerability stacks, but also true aim stack, which only lasts for 3 seconds. Very easy to keep up if you're turreting. You can even move and just spam arcane shot and, you know, marked, and you're fine to go. But that's the basis of that talent right there. Again, you're going to see lots of percentage damage amps on the Marksman Hunter, which I don't know if they need to have this many because there's a lot. There's like 5. Steady Focus is using 2 arcane shots in a row will give you 50% increased focus duration for 50% for 10 seconds, sorry. I was testing this and felt like this is best for AoE because you get more options to cast Volley, which is back, or to always have the focus ready for Barrage if you're using Barrage instead of Volley. Volley can stack twice. It only lasts for 6 seconds, of course, but we're talking about AoE here. You can stack 2 volleys on top of each other if you have the focus back-to-back, but right now the damage doesn't do anything. Still has the animation that it used to have, of course, for old Volley. It's still doing arrows from nowhere land, but it doesn't do any damage right now. But if you take, say, Steady Focus and you keep the focus regen up there, then you're going to have lots of focus to keep volleying if you need to keep doing constant AoE. Black Arrow is 3 charges, and it's a dot. And you can stack it 3 times. And then recasting it after it's stacked a 3rd time will just refresh the timer, and it will pandemic for up to, I think, 34 seconds. It's just passive dot damage. It looks kind of cool, I suppose, but it's just a dot. And it's just damage. You won't get any focus generation, and you won't get your damage on your main abilities. See, there's a refresh right there. Yeah, 34, 35 seconds. It's cool if you like dots. It's possible that over time you can have multiple full stacked black arrows because you need to eventually just wait for the cooldowns and stack them slowly because it is a 18-second recharge and a 26-second overall duration. There's windows there, but it's kind of wonky. So I don't know. These are all okay. I think True Aim is super good for turreting. Steady Focus is great for AoE and lots of movement. And then Black Arrow, maybe for movement, maybe for PvP, for dotting people up. Post Haste, Disengage, also frees you from all movement impairing effects, and you get a Sprint, Forest Strider. When any of your attacks cause a critical strike, there is a chance to reduce the cooldown of Disengage by 10%, which is 2 seconds. Now, I'll jump ahead real quick here to Kill Flip, which is my biggest point of contention so far with the Marksman Hunter, which I hate this talent. After disengaging, you deal 50% more damage for 8 seconds. Now, they're trying to bring back class fantasy. What ranger/sniper class would be sitting in there, you know, far away, throwing off arrows or bullets, and then all of a sudden just backflip, or in this case, disengage? I don't think it's very good, because it forces you to use a movement skill as a DPS cooldown. Not a fan whatsoever. Hopefully it gets changed. Right now, and the gun bugged out there. Right now, I'm not sure. Because if it's the best ability to tie him up with, like, headshot shenanigans or multiple aim shots in a row during the vulnerability windows with true aim and, you know, piercing shots, which I'll jump back here, is that just it gets the bleed effect for crits. So imagine, like, super high aim shots in Kill Flip with true aim with, you know, vulnerability stacked, and obviously 30% of that will become a bleed. It bothers me that you have to use a movement ability as DPS ability. That's the main problem with this ability. And then lock and load while we're down here. Let me stop attacking. So lock and load is just lock and load. No trap nonsense like you had to do with old survival. Just auto attacks have a 5% chance to trigger lock and load, which causes you to get 2 aim shots at no focus and instant. There it is, right? Boom, boom. They go off right like that. They're gone. Which I think lock and load's fine. It's just a chance, though. Scales with haste, however. So the faster you auto attack, the more lock and load procs you'll get. cool to react to. Gives the spec some RNG here and there, so you can, you know, have a proc to deal with now and then. Whereas Kill Flip with Farstrider, which is almost like required because Farstrider can technically make it a shorter cooldown to get more Kill Flips, because Kill Flip lasts for 8 seconds. If you get enough crits with crit scaling eventually, that you get more Farstrider procs, then it works with Kill Flip, which is I don't like. It makes it like mandatory combo. It's not. Ugh. Exotic Munitions is still here. Woo! Oh my, they weren't on my bars anymore. That's strange. 3-second cast time to change between exotic munitions, and they're still there. The Frost does extra frost damage and snares. Poison does a auto shot, stacks up a nature dot over 16 seconds, and it kind of ignites. It'll add and stack. And then Incendiary Ammo does passive auto shots, deal fire damage to targets around you. But again, I'll show you the 3-second cast time to change it up. And your ammo auto shot does change its effect. And there, oop, that tabard though. It's just kind of pew, pew. The other talent in this talent tier is Broadside. So aim shot will also hit all vulnerable targets. So again, making targets vulnerable is getting them to be marked. Getting them to be marked, and then hitting marked shot, and then hitting aim shot. Aim shot. And then aim shot again. Again, you can see the synergy with lock and load, but it's a very rare chance, but that's a cool thing that it caught on video. So Broadside has some burst cleave component. Exotic Munitions have passive cleave or a passive dot, and then piercing shots kind of has this crit scaling to it with arcane marked and aim shot. But it's so much stacking components. You can take piercing and true aim. I'll jump now to light 'em up, which targets affected by your flare take 10% extra damage from all attacks, but it does make flare a 1-minute cooldown now. Normally it was a 20-second cooldown without. Now it's a 1-minute cooldown, but, you know, light 'em up. 10% more damage taken. So again, you can see these, like, stacking damage component percentages, which I'm just not sure. There's so many of them, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing to have. Heightened vulnerability just means that your next mark shot applies 3 stacks of vulnerability to all marked targets. So it doesn't work properly right now. Like, sometimes it gives you 3, sometimes it gives you 1, sometimes it gives that target 3, and that one 1, and that one nothing. It doesn't work properly right now. And Murder of Crows is still here if you want to just take a passive. Barrage is the same. Barrage just barrages stuff, and it's the best way to pull the entire dungeon. I think you saw Dark Ranger earlier, and then Kill Flip is Kill Flip. So, I'm confused. I don't play a hunter. There are options for AoE, there are options for cleave, there are options for single target, there's options for turreting, there's options for being dot-oriented. There are options. My only problem is Kill Flip. Everything else is pretty cool. Headshot has cool synergies, possibilities, burst, you know, single target tunneling, but Kill Flip, I'm just not a fan. But that'll do it all for this summary video for the first pass of the Marksmanship Hunter. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit that like button. It's been a great deal. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel right here and check out all the other coverage I am doing. Again, refer to my channel guide on my Twitch channel if you want to see all the other testing I have done. And hopefully when I get the artifact weapon and we get a little more testing in the future, this changes up and we get some more tuning. I think some talents should move around. We'll see, friends. Thank you again so much for watching. I will see you in the next testing summary. Have a great rest of your day.